Wind up day 3 for us. He is ready to go, and we're going to start here on the left side on the third row.
Hey, John, good to see you again. AP Stedham of AP as we see it. John, I know how you fit into the offense, but Jaden not. When you looked at his stats and his abilities, how will he complement you?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's super dynamic. Catch the ball, run the ball, blocking, and everything that comes to play a running back, he's pretty good at it. Him and all the running backs are super good and real promising so far.
Left side, second row.
Christy Ford with USA Today. I was going to ask you, what do you feel like you bring to the table just from a tangibles and intangibles perspective as a quarterback? And your teammates have had a lot of comments about how you have a quirky personality. So what do you think plays into that?
What do you mean? Like, what'd they say?
Said you say a lot of funny things and that you always know the right thing to say.
Oh, that's all right. I would say, I can bring a little bit to the table. I fit the offense real well, and I'm just trying to get better. I got a lot of people around me that's going to help me a lot. The O-line is going to protect, and I'll make sure of it, and we'll get them right. Make sure they're pointed to the right place, and then the receivers are going to make me look good when I miss a little bit, so it's going to be good.
Right side, second row.
I'm going to follow up with that a little bit. When your teammates say you're funny, I guess, what comes to mind? They said you were cracking them up on the plane coming in.
Oh.
What's funny about you? I guess?
We were interviewing Coach Venables, actually. It'll probably come out on the OU football Instagram here soon. And I don't know, I've been known to cross some borders that is like gets a little edgy here and there. Like it's like, dang, maybe you shouldn't say that, but I'll say it anyway.
And
not right now, obviously. But yeah.
to my real question, just how did you take a leadership role when you came in? Everybody's kind of said that right away, it just kind of like you've been there for years.
Mm-hmm.
So what tangibly did you do to kind of assert yourself in that room?
I would say I was fortunate because I didn't have to learn a whole new offense. So I was able to take time and learn the players that I was going to play with and build relationships in the locker room and hang out with them and help them learn the offense. Because building relationships is the most important thing to leading. You can't lead people you don't know, and they're not going to trust you if they don't know you. So that was super important to me, and then they embraced me. It wasn't all me. They embraced me. They put me in the front of the line. The players put me in the front of the line first day of workouts, and then I just wanted to do it by my work. I didn't want to say a whole lot and be like, oh, I'm the leader, this and that. I didn't try to do that. I just wanted to work as hard as I could and prove to them that I was capable of leading.
Second row in the middle.
Ryan Chapman, Sirius on SI. Oklahoma fans didn't get to see the best of Deion Burks last year because he was so banged up. What have you seen from Deion, and what kind of weapon can he be in Ben Arbaugh's offense?
I'm super proud of Deion. He had a rough year last year on and off the field, but he's super promising. He cares a lot about football, and he cares a lot about the Sooners. I'm super happy for him and proud of him, just where he's came and with his body and his mind. And he knows the game of football a lot better this year than he did last year, and super proud of him, and I'm really excited to play with him.
Fourth row, and then pass it to your left.
I know Oklahoma's not in the SEC special, but I was wondering if you're excited to see it once it comes in August.
It's August 5th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I am, but it's fall camp, so I don't know how much I'll be able to watch, but I am excited that it's coming out.
Okay, stay on the fourth row.
I was just wondering, what kind of legacy would you like to leave at Oklahoma?
I don't think about the word legacy a whole lot. I would like to say I'd like to win a lot of games and do it by playing as hard as I can, and I'll let the legacy happen however it should. You win, good things happen. So I just want to win a lot of games.
Left side, second row.
John, what do you feel like a quarterback in the modern era on the field outside of leadership is supposed to be, and how do you align with that?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Just the modern era of quarterbacking in terms of mobility and things of that nature.
Oh, I think it's shifted to a more athletic style of play, and they say there's 2 plays in each play. If the first play don't work, you got to be able to make a second play and react, and it's super important. And it adds a whole nother layer to the defense, and it makes it a lot of fun for me and the rest of the offense. It's super frustrating for Coach Venables in practice too. No, I'm just kidding. But it's fun. I'm blessed to have that ability.
on the second row, and then we'll pass it across.
John, speaking of defenses and Brent Venables, has it been like going up against one of the best defenses in the SEC in practice over the last few months?
It's been challenging, but it's made me a lot better. It's not easy to go against that good of a defense every day because you got to come with it every day. And I try to, and this offense does, but it doesn't make it easy. Like, they're good, and schematically they're good and confusing, and then they got good players. So you add that together, it's not real easy, especially for offenses trying to learn. We don't even know that. So it was a lot of fun.
John Williams, Sooners Wire, USA Today Sports. You've got a lot of new faces at wide receiver. How is that looking? Jermichael Carter came in the spring transfer portal. What's your impression of him so far?
I really like J-Mike. J-Mike loves being a Sooner, and he loves being in the building. With all of them, it's been very promising. We spent a lot of time together on and off the field, spending a lot of time throwing the ball to each other and just learning how I think and how they think and what they like to run, what they don't like to run, and how it should be ran. We still got room to go, of course, but we'll get there.
Right here, second
Yeah,
row.
Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. A lot of people have compared you to Baker Mayfield. You've brought up Baker on your own at times. Do you accept that? That's a little bit of a high status in Oklahoma, being compared to Baker Mayfield. Do you accept that challenge or enjoy that status that people think of you as, a worthy successor to Baker?
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor to be compared to him. You talk about Oklahoma, everybody loves Baker Mayfield, which is great and deservingly so. He's done a lot for this university, and it's an honor to be compared to him. I wouldn't say I'm exactly like him, but it's definitely cool to be that high status. I don't see it as pressure, though. I don't just see it as an opportunity.
Stay on the second row, and then we'll finish over here.
John, in the spring we talked to you about you wanted to kind of improve some of your decision-making stuff. Have you found teaching the offense to the guys has kind of helped further that understanding and just speed up the whole process for
Yeah,
you?
no doubt. 'Cause teaching is, I think it's scientifically proven to be the best way to learn something. So being able to do that is huge. And because, pre-snap you can think about what you should do, where you should go. But once the play starts, it has to be instincts. So to be able to know those instincts and have them wired into my brain is huge. Getting to the next progression. And that's been a huge thing I've been wanting to work on.
Right side.
Kind of along the lines of what you were just asked about the comparisons to Baker, but it seems like this offseason there's been a lot of hype about what the potential could be for the Oklahoma offense. You know it as well as anybody, but what's it like dealing with some of that hype, and what are your expectations about this offense?
I mean, we don't really worry about it in the building. I think we're all excited in our own, not because of what anybody on the outside says, because of the work we put in. And personally, my confidence comes from the work I put in, and I think we've done a good job. And I think we're going to do some good things. We got a lot of good players, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
What did you learn at the Manning Passing Academy? And was there anything that you learned there that helps in the Red River game?
I actually learned a lot. It was a great opportunity. We got to sit in. The best thing about the whole camp, other than having fun with the kids and building relationships, was about an hour to hour 15 minutes we got to spend in a room with Peyton and Eli and John Gruden and the Rams GM talking about they just giving us gold as young quarterbacks, and there's nothing you can replace, like put in place for that. And I learned a lot. I also met a lot of guys, and I learned that Archie Manning's a cool guy, and it's going to be fun to play in that game.
Thank you very much. Good luck
Thank
this
you.
year.
Appreciate that.
I could talk past midnight about those guys. We're happy to have Mason join us, and he will go right straight to questions. We'll start here on the left side in the third row.
Good afternoon, Mason. AP Stedham, AP as we see it. Mason, who's some of your favorite edge rushers?
Edge rushers, Nick Benito is a big one. Micah Parsons, like anybody who fits like my stature. Yeah, Nick Benito was the one I was just talking about him in his other interview. He's the guy he would be that role model who I look up to. and then he just went crazy this past season with the Broncos. So he's set to make something good.
Right side, fourth row.
Carson Field, Sooners on SI. R. Mason, you had kind of a breakout season last year. Since then, what have been the main things on and off the field that you've been working on?
You know, my run game, putting on a little extra weight, you know, moving well with the weight too. And I think just overall I could work on everything, but run game was probably a big one, you know, making just more production there. Not just because other people say it, but I want it for myself too. But those were two things: adding weight, run game production.
Stay on the right side, back row.
Johnny Condon, ABC 3340 Sports in Birmingham. You guys had one of your biggest wins last year against Alabama. This year you're headed to Tuscaloosa to play the Crimson Tide. I'm interested what that win last year did for the morale of the team heading into this season, and how excited are you to play at Bryant-Denny Stadium?
No, that was a big win. We really kept that momentum into this season. We know what we can do. It showed a little glimpse of what we can do. So for their stadium, I hear it's loud. It's when they score, the lights flicker or actually turns off, right? And it'll be fun to play against them. They're a good football team.
Left side, back row.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. You had one of your biggest games of the season last year against Auburn in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Your memories of playing Auburn and how'd you do so well that day?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't play that good the first half, but I just remember their stadium being loud. It was a good football team because they were ahead of us most of the game, and it was just exciting to celebrate with our team. For it to be our first SEC win, it being on the road, it was exciting. It was just a lot of energy, and I like how we played as a team that day against a really good Auburn team.
Left side, and then pass it behind you.
Mason, who designed your shoes?
Yeah.
And then what would you like to see from the defense last year that you didn't, and some of the good things you did last year on defense collectively?
I feel bad. I forgot his name. I need to get in contact with him. It was in Atlanta, here in Atlanta. He designed, you know, the Air Force Ones are iconic, so I went with that, and it's all white, so you can spray paint it and do it whatever you want to it. And I told him, like, could I get the OU with the 32? And then I threw the grease on it. I like that movie right there. And then your second question was I know Coach V talked about the third down last year. We can be better. Yeah, that would be a down where we could be better at. We can be better in all downs, but third down was a big thing. I liked what we did last year was the communication. We had a lot of communication, like especially from the leaders, Billy, Danny, and Ethan. On the defensive side, we communicated a lot, and for us to be that good on defense, we know we can communicate more. So which gives us that exciting feeling for this year coming up that we can be even better.
Back row, left side.
Chrissy Freud, USA Today. Two very different questions. First of all, you spent a little bit of time with John Mateer. What have you seen out of him just from a personal perspective and a teammate? And then as far as you go, what do you feel like you bring to the table as a prospect going into this season and where you may be trying to get better?
Yeah, John's funny. You know, like the quarterbacks are like, I see why everybody likes him. He's just like, he always knows what to say at the right time. Like, and it's funny. He's quirky. He's swaggy. He's all that. Like, I like him. I'm glad he was able to join our program. And what was your second question again?
What do you think you bring to the table as a prospect yourself, and what do you think you improve on this season?
Yeah, for me as an outside linebacker, I bring, you know, setting the edge, being that forefront, you know, is big in the trenches in the SEC. So for us, like Don Williams, Drayson Halton, like PJ, for us to be that unit we want to be, I think we all, including me, bring that violence, that leadership from a big guy standpoint, leading by example. Because, you know, when you talk, it's all talk until you go do it. So leading by example is a big thing for me.
Right side, second row.
Alex Byington on 3. A lot has been made about Coach Venables taking over as a defensive play caller this year.
Yeah.
Two-part question. How much have y'all kind of looked or seen some of what his defense looked like at Clemson? And what's different with him in charge now compared to maybe prior?
It's the same thing. Since 2022, when he first got here, it's the same thing. Like you would think it'll be some kind of drop off, but he's a defensive mind. He's always on the defensive side of the ball, so it's the same. It's no drop off. It's no. We don't have to change language or anything like that. It's the same playbook. With him, it's always been like that. So we weren't nervous. We weren't frustrated. We weren't rattled. So it was the same. Yeah, when I was getting recruited to OU, it was a lot of Clemson film. I think now we ran a lot of plays like he did in Clemson, so it's like we're looking at what we do now more of. I know my first year we were looking at Clemson a lot because we didn't have any film of us doing it, but yeah, we have so many film of us doing it now, so we're watching ourselves.
On the aisle, they were coming to the front.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX in College Station, with just kind of the storied program that is Oklahoma and the success that it's had. How much pressure do you guys have to get back to that? Get back to a double-digit win season after last year.
Yeah, I don't think we in a sense have pressure. Like we know what the standard is, what the people in the team in the past have set. So I know if we can put our head down, we can work, focus on the journey and not the destination, we will be right where we want to be.
Front row.
Jacques Doucet, WAFB in Baton Rouge. LSU's never been to Oklahoma before, so this is way down the line, I guess,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving or so. But what can fans expect about going to see a football game up there?
Yeah, it's going to be a loud environment. They never been to Oklahoma? Really? Have we ever been to LSU before? No, right? Before, first time. So yeah, like how their environment was loud, really good LSU team. They're coming to a really good LSU team coming to our stadium. It's going to be loud. It's going to be, a lot of that older music, that Iron Man, AC/DC. You're going to hear a lot of that, and yeah, that's what you're going to expect.
Right side.
Laughed a little bit with when you brought up John Meter. What thought prompted that? The smile, and then
Yeah.
what have been some of the interactions? How has he ingratiated himself to the team since he's gotten there?
Yeah, he's integrated himself in the team like smoothly. Yeah, if he says he's anxious or he was a little nervous, he was. He didn't look like he was to me, but it felt like he's been here for 4 years already. So yeah, our interactions are funny. He likes to goof around all the time, especially on the plane right here. We were like just laughing on the plane, and our interactions are funny. So that's anytime somebody brings it up, I'm always going. Yeah, I mean, he'll say like random things at random times, but he knows what to say. I don't know, I can't even remember a certain joke or a certain comment, but I just knew I was just laughing.
Final question on the left.
Another school coming to Oklahoma for the first time in program history this year is going to be Auburn. The rematch with Auburn. Auburn's never made the trip. Jackson Arnold transferring in. He's going to be leading Auburn as the quarterback this year. What kind of player is Auburn getting in Jackson Arnold, and what's it going to be like facing a team quarterbacked by a former teammate?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Hats off to Auburn. For them to come into our stadium, it's going to be exciting. The AC/DC, they're going to hear a lot of that. I know Jackson already knows what he's been in our stadium before. He's going to know it already, the environment. He's played a lot of games there. But yeah, we're just excited for him to play them.
Mason, thank you very much. Good job.
Appreciate it.
Stay healthy. Okay, our first Oklahoma player is welcome. He's happy to be here. We're ready to get some questions going. First of all, how was it last year with a new conference for your school?
I feel like the
The conference last year was a good learning experience for everybody. I feel like everybody had a great time. A lot of learning curves for us. I was ready to attack year 2.
It's not like you guys weren't playing in the big time anyway, but did you get a lot of questions about it being a new conference and what the experiences were?
I got a couple questions like that today, and the experiences were great. I mean, new environments, new teams, new faces, and I feel like that was a great experience for everybody.
Okay. We'll open it up. We have a question here on the right-hand side.
Carson Field, Sooners on SI. What stood out to you about this defense? How has it improved since last year, and how have you taken a leadership role on it?
I feel like we've communicated way better this year because we were taught a quiet defense is a dead defense. So I feel like this year we're emphasizing on communication a lot.
Left side on the aisle.
Chrissy Freud, USA Today. Obviously, you're on the other side of the ball, but what are your first impressions of John Mateer, and what's it been like to be around him?
John's a great guy, competitive guy, confident guy. He makes a lot of throws that a lot of your average quarterbacks can't make, and he's going to let you know about it. So that's what I love about John. He's a great guy to be around.
On the right side, second row.
Alex Byington on 3. A lot was made this offseason about Brent taking over, they call him defensively. Just knowing his history with Clemson a little bit, what does that give you confidence, and just what's the interaction been like since he made that move?
Coach V is one of the greatest defensive coaches ever, so I feel like I have all faith and trust in him because he's going to confuse a lot of offensive coordinators and quarterbacks because you never know what you're going to get from him. You never know what we're going to run that week. So that's what I love about Coach Venables. So Coach V, 1 week we might be in a whole different game scheme, formations than the next week. So you really can't watch our last week's game because we're probably not going to even come out in that formation or them fronts at all.
Left side, second row.
Hey, Robert. Jacques Doucet, WAFB in Baton Rouge. What were your impressions of going to Tiger Stadium and playing LSU for the first time and hosting them this year? I don't think LSU's ever played at Oklahoma before.
That's probably the biggest stadium I've been in. Great environment, great fans, and can't wait for them to come in town. I got a couple of my friends, they transferred to LSU, so been talking to Nick Bauer a couple of days out the week, so it'd be a great matchup.
Johnny Condon, ABC 3340 Sports in Birmingham. Obviously, one of the bigger wins you had last season was that Alabama game. Now you're headed to Tuscaloosa this year. How big of a win was that for just the morale of that program heading into this year? And then are you excited to play at Bryant-Denny Stadium?
It was a great win. I feel like it was our senior night, so we had to let our seniors leave out with a bang because that's a memory that they remember for the rest of their lives, and they could tell their kids when they have their kids. And just going to Alabama, I mean, the program speaks for itself. Stadium, I always dreamed of playing there, so playing there is going to be a great time.
Right side, fourth row.
For you in practice, how much harder has it got facing the offense? Is it more challenging facing this Oklahoma offense than it was before last season?
It's definitely more challenging because they bring energy. I feel like with Arbuckle and John, they bring a different type of swag with them. I feel like our whole offense has embodied their swag and their energy. Because once they score a touchdown, their whole sideline's running over there celebrating with the guys. And that's what you need. You need energy. And I feel like these guys here love playing football.
Second row, right side.
You mentioned talking with Nick Anderson, some of the other players that have transferred. In this day and age, when there's a lot more movement, during the 4 or 5 years you're in the school, what's that like is it hard, especially when they transfer in conference, to maintain that friendship, or is it just like old times?
I feel like it could be both. But I feel like for me, it's like old times because you love them without football, but you just met them through football, I feel like. So I feel like Nick, that's my dog for life. That's my best friend. So I feel like just because he transferred, I have no animosity towards him. I love him like he's my brother.
Left side, second row.
Staying on that theme, I wanted to ask you if you could describe what Nick Anderson and Bauer Sharp are like as teammates, and what is LSU getting in those two guys?
I feel like LSU's getting two great guys. Bauer's a vocal guy. He's a very vocal leader. Great personality, comes to work every day, head down, have a great time, makes practice fun. Nick, same way, great guy, loves playing football. You could tell he loves playing football, just the way he comes to practice. He just makes jokes, but when it's time to be about his business, he's about his business as well.
Back row left.
Dan Peck, ESPN 1067 in Auburn. You could be in the unusual situation early on of facing a guy who was playing quarterback for Oklahoma last year in Jackson Arnold when he comes to town with Auburn. What's that like with the idea of well, first of all, what's your relationship like with Jackson and what kind of player is Auburn getting in Jackson Arnold, but also the thought that you could be facing a former teammate leading the opposing team?
I feel like Jackson's a great guy. On and off the field, he has confidence. He makes a lot of good throws. He was just young. I feel like this year is his time to really shine. I feel like he has a great staff around him. I feel like he's going to have a great time at Auburn. And I feel like him coming back to Norman, he's going to try to redemption game, I feel like you should say. But I feel like he's going to have a great time. We're waiting for him to come. And we're just have fun.
We have time for a couple more questions. Do we have any out there? Take another one from Dan.
Oklahoma lost a lot defensively from last year. Has your role changed? Have you had to be more of a leader to replace some of the guys who have departed?
Coach V, Coach Hall, and Coach Smitty, they have all advised me to be more vocal. So this summer, this spring, and this winter, I've tried my hardest and done my best at being a more vocal leader and not just by leading by example. So I feel like me and a couple other guys have been doing that job very well.
Right side, second row.
Kind of something you just mentioned about Jackson coming back, but I know there may not be any animosity, friendship-wise and things like that, but you kind of had a little twinkle in your eye when you said you have plans when he comes back. When you're facing a former teammate like that, is there some underlying kind of let's show him what he's missing, or is that ever part of it?
No, I don't feel that. I feel like we're just coming here to play football. We all have dreams to make it to the next level, so I feel like we're all just going to go out there and play the game we love.
We always talk about rivalries. What's the one that you guys have with Texas? How does that feel?
That rivalry is probably the biggest rivalry in college football, I feel like, because it's the only rivalry that you're at a neutral site every year, same weekend, and it's cut in half at the 50. At the 50-yard line, it's burnt orange. The other one's crimson red, and I feel like that's probably the hardest thing.
When you're an old man, is that the one you're going to think of the most?
Definitely. I miss that game for sure.
Left side.
SEC fans are going to get their first look at Jade Knott this fall. He's been playing at Cal the last couple of years before transferring in to Oklahoma. Your initial impressions of the new running back?
Great guy. On and off the field, he has great hands, elusive, can catch the ball, can run good routes, and has a good little burst to him.
One final question here. Second row.
For people who have never been to your stadium before, how would you describe a game there and the whole experience?
From the Walker Champions to the end of the game, I feel like it's a great experience, especially a night game. Fireworks going off after touchdowns, the Roughnecks shooting their guns. I feel like it's just a great time. Fans are loud, and we're close to the stadium, so you hear everything. So I feel like it'll be a great time to be there.
Robert, thank you very much. Stay healthy. Good luck.
Yes, sir.